Wow, we sure got our wild gyration to the upside. You can see how they are pushing the market higher here, but it's not on new momentum. It's not on new volume. The volume here is negligible. And Willie is officially stupid. RSI now, if we go up through this high, like this high here was 35,198, and this high here, 35,138. Oh boy, that's pretty close. I still think that they're going to go take that high out. But notice RSI is now starting to div out. You've heard me talking lots about, wow, this is a funny lunar eclipse window. They're rallying this asset ahead of a really big event. And what has the FUMC done to Bitcoin in the past? When these damn FUC, and interestingly enough, look how on this FUMC event, that actually the market was selling off into that event, and then the market had a violent move back on the other side of that FUMC event. Is that what we're sort of setting ourselves up for? It sure feels like it, folks. And notice how we sort of made lower low, and then punched to a big fuck you, lower low, right on that FUMC event, and then inside bar and just huge move the other direction. Is that what we should be expecting here? It seems logical to me. It doesn't seem unrealistic. I'll say that much. I don't think it's a good idea ahead of this lunar event here for really anybody to start sort of predicting Bitcoin tops. I think that might be a bit dangerous. I also think too, and I was speaking about this in the public video, and I think I talked about it in the broiler chicken show and stuff, that, I mean, there's a couple things. The first thing was that as this rally was getting going, I was very, very concerned when I started to see this happen. Because this, whenever I see MACD do this, and really, you could make the argument this coil's been building for a while here, right? So energy is coiling. And, the rule is that you get a huge break in one direction. And then what happens on the other side of this? Oh, fuck. It just collapses. I can't tell you how many times I've seen this in my lifetime in Bitcoin and really all markets. It's not just Bitcoin. But Bitcoin loves to do this too. I'm very concerned. We just got the first thing. This is the big blast off. This is going to be an exhausted move. And then we just come screaming down the other side into that. And I don't know how long this is going to take. Just keep in mind the eclipse, if somebody corrected me earlier, the eclipse I think is on the 28th. So that's right in here. Maybe this goes I don't know. I've said, a lot recently that what I'd like to see for us to really know that this is a top is for this MACD to actually start turning back up and then roll over and break. And then it won't be one of these insane gyration kind of things. This will be very orderly and really paint a very clean top. The long and short of it here is, wow, we sure got our wild gyration to the upside. You can see how they are pushing the market higher here, but it's not on new momentum. It's not on new volume. The volume here is negligible. And Willie is officially stupid. RSI now, if we go up through this high, like this high here, was 35,198, and this high here, 35,138. Oh boy, that's pretty close. I still think that they're going to go take that high out. But notice RSI is now starting to div out. So if we look at Bitcoin futures, what I noticed, which was quite surprising, was check this out. Who can tell me what is this kind of image? What am I thinking of here? What do we call this? First off, this old expression, you probably heard me say it a few times on the site. Show me a new high and I'll show you a buy. Oh, there you are, Nick. All right, so you just posted that. All right, so let's finish off this thought. So this was the contract high for this October Bitcoin futures contract right up there. So the fact that this thing broke out through that high, do you guys see the show me a new high and I'll show you a buy? And you tell me. If you had just bought the breakout on the futures contract of that high, would you be feeling pretty good right now? I think so. So, interesting application of that futures industry concept. Show me a new high and I'll show you a buy. And then the second thing that jumped out at me was they actually did that move on a gap. So technically, right, this is like gap and go. So we should be painting up here. But notice this actually did a gap here today. So now we can actually start thinking gap theory. So if this is the breakaway gap, right, because we broke away of this old range. If you gap higher again, then this is what's called the measuring gap. And like I said, we teach this in the level 2 program. And interestingly enough, this actually gives you the ability to start projecting where, and if we do see the market gap higher into this event level here, then we know for certain that this is the top. So I'm going to be watching very, very closely. And also, too, would it make sense that this would happen on some sort of formal announcement that the ETF has been approved by? I think so. I think that aligns perfectly. I also think, too, that that might just happen right on this Eclipse event window. I could very easily see that that's going to happen right through here. It's interesting when the market, the market will either rally into the Fed. So here's a good example where the market rallied. I guess, well, I don't know if that's the actual date there or not. Maybe it just pauses following the event. Sometimes when the market on the other side of the Fed, it can actually puke up pretty hard. One thing that tells me that actually a rally should come is if we actually see the market sell off into a Fed event. Then on the other side of that, and this is just perfect, sell the rumor, buy the news. Sometimes, unfortunately, buy the rumor, and then the Fed comes. In this particular case, we just went sideways, but this looks to me like a distribution, sell the news. Then we have another event here, buy the rumor. Following the event, sell the news. We had to back off for a few days here.